So this is I'd call it the sky is not falling market update. Maybe that should be my YouTube title. The sky is not falling. This is a deep dive into the Cape Coral, Florida market updates, December 2024. As always, the market updates are based on closed sales data from the previous month. So we are in December, looking backwards at November's data. Hi, I am Adrienne Bray. I am a licensed realtor in the state of Florida with Real Brokerage. Thank you. That's the disclaimers and all of the intro. For the city, as I just jump right into it, for the city as a whole, it's interesting to see the month's data kind of stack up. I think that people anticipate or I guess assume that the sky is falling, the market's crashing. We really have just kind of held steady. We have trickled for the entire city just teetered into a buyer's market. But as you'll see on some later information that I'll share, we've kind of done that. We're kind of going back and forth, but we're really just hanging pretty tight to that balanced market. So for the month of November, we have 6.88 months of inventory. We have 57 days on market and a median sales price of $395,000. Now, I know that seems that like gets your juices going. Like, oh my gosh, you can get like just crazy deals in the Cape. That's potentially correct, but I'm going to throw in some caveats. So the city is very large, and there are different quadrants within the city, and within those quadrants, the prices do vary. Now, if we're looking again at this median number, we have different types of lots in the city. We've got zero water, just regular lot. We have canal front, but they are not Gulf access. So canals that only stay within the city, and you can't like exit out to get to the river and then thus to the ocean. And then we also have Gulf access lots. So you can get to the Gulf, but those, bridge Gulf access canals. And then we also have like zero bridge. Those are called sailboat Gulf access. So there's a lot of price fluctuation within those. So there's a lot of different type of lots, which then equate to different types of homes. So when you look at the median, you are looking at, all the prices and then smack dab at the median point of those prices. And we do have a substantial number of homes that are no water access, we'll put it that way. So that's why that median price seems lower and kind of gets you like, oh my gosh, I can have like a beachfront property and like that type of thing. Yeah, no. The other thing is we do have flood zones that play into it. So oftentimes some of our non-water access lots that are in flood zone areas or areas that would require you to carry flood insurance also will sometimes drop lower in price just because they're a more expensive property to hold. It's a really long explanation, isn't it? But I always have to do that because if you're new to the area, that's hard to understand. The other thing that's really, I think, interesting to note is even though we've got that 6.88 months of inventory, with almost 2 months on the market, which is actually considered pretty normal, pretty balanced. In a balanced market, you want to have just around 6 months of inventory and around 2 months supply. We are getting 97.3%. So sellers are getting, say they are selling their house for $100,000, they're getting $97,000. So that's still pretty good and doesn't scream like Kmart sale like people I think anticipate. You can see we have crept up slightly in the month supply. So we've started at 5.88 3 months ago, and now in that fourth month we are at 6.88, and we still have hovered right around that 97% of list price and 57 days on market. median price at $395. Again, we did have that blip in the month of September. I could probably pull the data and see what happened. I don't know if there were just a lot of, I guess, not short sale, a lot of lower priced home sales in that month. I don't know. But for the most part, we're hovering right around that 390 mark, which really doesn't scream the sky is falling like I think people seem to think. Before we move on to like the breakdown by quadrants, just remember that the first numbers I'm sharing with you are the roll up of the entire city. So all of these breakout quadrants that I'm going to walk through led to those first numbers. All right, we are in zip code 33904. We have seen a little bit of fluctuation in this market. So starting in August, it was leaning into the seller's market. September, it just bounced back into a balanced market. October, it was very much in the middle on a balanced market. And for November, so December, this update now, we have just teetered over into a buyer's market. We are currently at 6.97 months of inventory, so just like 12% over the city's days on market. We have 50 days on market, so that is about 9 days less for houses to be on the market, and this is at $369,000 as our median price. Homes in this zip code, this quadrant, are seeing 96% of their list price. And that's actually up. Last month, we did see a drop down to, 94%. So we did kind of pick back up. But really, if you look at it again, as a whole, we are doing a slight on the teeter-totter, but we're not like dropping. It'll be interesting to see what happens in December. I think we're going to see some slowdown all around. Just the market itself is just slower. It's holiday. Southwest quadrant. This one typically has a higher price point. There's more Gulf access lots in property, so our median price is higher. They also do have more, because they're closer to the water, more flood zone properties. So they do really see often a little bit more fluctuation comparatively to the rest of the city as a whole. We have kind of always been in a buyer's market for this quadrant. We are we are literally the most into the buyer's market that we've been in the 4 months of data. We currently have 7.92 months of inventory. So that's what's making it pop into a buyer's market. That's getting up there a little bit in our month's inventory with 56 days on market. So interesting. That's not a crazy number for days on market. This month we had a median sales price of $475,000, which is 8.8% lower than last month. And last month we were at $526,000. If we take out last month's median price, so we were at $495, then at $480, then we popped up to $526, and then now we're at $475. So actually, I guess just at the lower point of the quarter's worth of median home prices. So interestingly, this quadrant does seem to have that 95-96% for the price that they get, which tells me that they in their head are thinking, the sellers or the listing agents are believing that the properties should sell for more, which isn't what the market is currently showing. So potentially there might be some sellers that need to drop their price or need to start at a lower price, which helps buyers if you're interested in that quadrant. Northwest quadrant, and we are looking at zip code 33993. Northwest quadrant's actually a kind of a pretty spread out quadrant, but this zip code is the majority of the area up there. We are seeing that we are in a buyer's market, but if you look at, again, the past 3 months plus this 4th month of data for this, if you look at this quarter, for goodness sakes, right? If you take out the month of September's data, it's pretty consistent. We've got 54 days on market this month, 370,000 for our median sales price. We're at 7.28 months inventory, which is higher than it has been for the entirety of the quarter. But as far as that days on market and then list to sold, we're pretty close to the same. In September, we did have 71 days on market, and now we're back in the 50s. This is another one of those interesting quadrants that there is a lot of water up there, but there's not a lot of Gulf access water. So that does affect the pricing. And again, looking at that median, the numbers of properties selling that are able to access water versus the number that are not, that's where we kind of drop down into the 370. If you're looking to access the Gulf, you're not hitting that number. So this particular quadrant has been, well, I was going to say for the most part in a buyer's market, but that's not true. We had 2 months that we were balanced, and then last month we teetered into the buyer's market, and then this month we are a little bit further into a buyer's market. Northeast quadrant. They have been doing some interesting things, in my opinion. So this month we are balanced. This month we have a median sales price of $342,000, 98.8. So almost 99% of the properties are getting their list price, even though they've been on the market for almost 70 days. That's interesting. And then there's 6 months of inventory. If you compare it to the past for the quarter in its entirety, this one has been doing some slipping. So way back in August, we were at 4.5 months of supply, 53 days on market, and 349,000 for the median sales price. So we were in a seller's market. And then the next month kind of slipped closer to a balanced. We increased our month supply. Weirdly enough, we decreased our days on market. I don't get it. And then the list to sale price was at 98%. Then last month, we increased our month's inventory up to 5.46, but we still were selling in 44 days on market with a median sales price of 362,000 and then 98% of that list price. And now we are in a balanced market, and we've jumped 24 days on the market. So weird. So I cannot wait. Nerd alert. I cannot wait for next month to see what happens, because this one is just, I don't know, maybe a market guru might be able to better explain this, but this one's just, to me, has seen the most shifting, the most volatility in comparison to the entirety of the Cape. We are seeing slowing. I am seeing the data starting to show it, obviously, because, that's data. But just in general, I'm seeing the home sitting longer, and I'm feeling that my buyer clients are going to be able to negotiate some offers that have more favorable terms that they're looking for, and they're going to have to compromise less on those terms. Obviously, that's keeping in mind that, the offer's not crazy, which is where the sky's not falling title comes in. Like, sellers are not so desperate that they're going to accept, a dog beep offer. Let me know what questions you have. Put them below. And even if you're watching this video like sometime in the future, kind of let me know what the insights are that you maybe are seeing from the data that I didn't share, or what are some things that you would be interested in learning about from the data that I didn't touch on? Maybe that's a better phrasing of it. Otherwise, thank you for watching this month's Cape Coral Market Update, and I will see you next month.